to go.
But to go back to, the game of lacrosse itself and those face-off, lacrosse is an interesting game because, most times in most sports, when you score an offense, it means it goes right back to the opposing team and they get their offense possession. But lacrosse can be, that shot is off.
That was a good save, though, there from Rosted.
It was a great save by Rosted. But as I mentioned, lacrosse is one game where, those faceoffs are so important because if you're a team that's really good on offense, as we have a fast break opportunity.
And the pass to Morissette. Morissette, and no good. Try to pass it to Kevin, but Kevin was unable to corral the ball into his pocket there.
But what I was mentioning, again, you can have a game of lacrosse where it feels like your offense just doesn't touch the ball at all, And that's exactly what it was for Minnesota early on because they weren't winning those face-off battles. Chapman was winning the time of possession, scoring, face-off win, scoring, face-off win, scoring, face-off win. It's like at some point, it's like for Minnesota, we're like, man, we haven't even touched the ball yet. We haven't even had a chance to show what we got on offense. But that's just how the game of lacrosse is. Those face-offs, so vitally important to this game.
As Brewing looking to reset the offense, trying to get a good possession, Brewing here for the Gophers. The Gophers taking this one, taking their time so far with this possession. As Millett has the ball here, looking to make a move. Millett looking for teammates. He's going to find Hofstad. Back over to Nuss. With physical defense there by Morris. Nuss has nowhere to go as he's doubled. And a good save there by Millett. But, of course, look at that. Bollinger yet again with another save. But there is a flag on the play.
There is a flag, and it looks like it's probably going to give Minnesota another possession. But Bollinger positioning so good. It's really impressive to watch him work from the goalie position and see where he lines up, how he's always keeping his feet moving, feet square, ready to rotate whenever the ball comes his way.
Yeah, again, but now the Gophers here able to get another possession. This is really the first time they've been able to do that as we have a replay of the save by Millett. But again, Bollinger just turning the stick at the perfect time, able to get that save yet again.
Yeah. It's good rotations. Got to find something if you're Minnesota right now.
As Nuss looking to find something. And the Panthers had their sticks up, and they were able to steal that one with Rikers. And Bollinger leaving the goal for a little bit, trying to set up the offense. Got to get rid of it, though, as he is able to get rid of that one to start off this Panthers possession. And they are going to start off with Kennedy. Looking for someone to pass to. Finds Voman. As Voman just taking his time, jogging up the field, getting close to the attacking zone here already.
Good movement. Good movement from the Panthers. And for the Panthers, you're already 3-0 on the year, right? You won the first game against Cal. Well, that game is close on paper. I could say as someone who was a witness to that game. That was a game where Chapman was just kind of really starting to play a little too loose there by the end. That score really doesn't tell the whole story of that game. Chapman really did have control of that game against Cal, the majority of it. But, then you go to the other game, they win a big game against Cal Poly, dominance. That ball goes high. Here's a ground ball you can win.
And let's see who comes up with this one. And that is going to be Voman, who gets hit there again. As you've been saying, the physicality of this game, we've seen a lot of players getting hit in the helmet so far, and good thing they are wearing helmets with the way this game's been going so far.
But you know what? To be honest, I'm very surprised at how much more dominant Chapman is motivational-wise than Minnesota. Obviously, Chapman's motivated. They know who they are. They want to win every single game. But I did expect Minnesota to come out with a little bit more fire after the game that they had last year against these guys. But right now, I think it's just showing right now. Chapman is just, they're playing on another level. This team in sync. And that's also due to what I was starting to get to about, they won against Cal Poly following that Cal game, right? They won 14-5.
As Worth goes in for the score. And that's another player now for the Panthers with multiple goals. Jack Worth with the hat trick now in the first half. Oh, and look at this. The bench press on the sideline. You got to get the workout in mid-game, You got to keep the body loose.
One more rep. Yeah.
You got a lot of reps
right there, man.
Right there. That was Jack Duffy getting those reps in.
Hey, that was good form, too. That was really good form. I mean, it's the speed of the Panthers that's actually impressing me the most. Every single player is a mismatch speed-wise. They're able to get around the edge. Here's a face-off that the Panthers look like they should win, and they do win it. It's very impressive how quick they're flying down the field. And now at this point, when you're leading 10-0, this is a perfect opportunity. Chapman has a deep roster. Start letting in some other guys here, giving them opportunities. Start to see if you can find some diamonds in the rough here deeper into the roster and feel like, okay, maybe these are guys that we can rely on later in the season as well. But as I was mentioning, as it looks like there's a close opportunity.
To Kevin, and a great save there by Rostad. Able to get that one, but the Panthers able to get it back with Newworth Stratton.
Yeah, smart reset. Just find your time. We have a couple numbers out there who we haven't seen at the beginning of the game. It's an opportunity for the other Panthers. But then here's the biggest thing. They won 2 games, handled the second one. Then UC Santa Barbara was really seen as a trap game, right? Those are games, you catch, you're feeling yourselves 2-0. You're going against a team who's been struggling a little bit. That's like you feel like, oh, yeah, we got this. The team could come out a little bit lackluster in those situations. But Chapman won that game. They won the trap game 6-5. That says a lot about their character and who they are this year. And look at this now. Following that 6-5 win, look at where they are right now. Standing at 10-0 with 38 seconds left in the first half. My goodness.
And something to keep an eye on, too, for the Gophers. I mentioned earlier that the Panthers are 3rd ranked in the entire country. The Gophers had some votes to be in that top 25 last week. So this team is not a bad team by any means coming in to this game here. Already down 10-0. They did just call a timeout. So for the Gophers, hopefully you get one last possession before halftime. Just try to get one goal up on that board for motivation coming into the break and entering the second half.
But it does show the difference of something. The Gophers are not a bad team. Not at all, right? But there is levels to strength for teams, right? It shows the difference between a 3rd-ranked team in the nation like the Chapman Panthers compared to a team who's trying to push the top 25. In the end, there is a difference between the top 5 and the rest of the league. And it's showing right here where it stands out. That's a good thing for the Chapman Panthers. They're winning a game right now they're currently winning a game that they know they should win. They know exactly what kind of team they are. They know what level they're playing at. They don't stoop down to their opponent's level. Again, as I mentioned, that trap game against UC Santa Barbara, they win the trap game. Then they come home against Minnesota, a team that would want revenge against the Chapman Panthers. And look what they did, right? They're up to a 10-0 lead right now. They're playing at a high intensity. They're not slouching for nobody on that schedule.
No, and you can't do that. When you're a top team in the country, there's no excuses. There's nothing that is stopping you from really getting back to where you were in that national semifinal, and this year getting over that hump and winning that championship game.
And that's the thing, too, for the Chapman Panthers. One thing I have to say, too, when you're a top team in the league, you're going to get every team's best, right? You're going to get every team's – everyone wants to take down the top dogs. They want to take down the big dogs. But Chapman Panthers, so you're going to get everyone's best, but the Chapman Panthers are giving their best every week and showing everyone why, we're up to number 3 for a reason.
As the Gophers here half possession, looking to run down the clock, trying to win the ground ball. Let's see who's going to get it.
Aggressive move by Bollinger, moving outside the goal to try to win this ground ball.
As they're able to get it with Van Newton there. And no good on the shot by Carlson.
Bollinger, my goodness, can you just do it all? Look at this guy, man. This guy goes outside the goal, tries to win the ground ball, is able to reset in time, stand in front of the goal,
and that one's no
word.
miscue
on the shot.
And the Panthers looking to recover. Carlson fighting for it, and that is going to end the half right there as the Panthers are going to take a 10-0 lead going into the break as no team was able to corral that final ground ball going in to the half. As some key things to take note of in that first half, 2 players with hat tricks with Jack Worth and Luke Morissette. What are some reasons as to why both of those players have been able to have such an amazing impact throughout these first 30 minutes?
I mentioned it before, speed. They like the mismatches. Again, lacrosse, a game of mismatches. You feel like, oh, yeah, I got an advantage against this opponent. You know what I mean? I feel like I could get around him. That's exactly what they're doing. Once they feel like they get the one-on-one opportunity, it's just one move, take the lane, fire away. And that's exactly what the Panthers are doing. They're getting their lanes. They're finding open shots. They're using their speed to an advantage, which is clearly a big differential in comparison to Chapman and Minnesota.
And what are some things that you think the Gophers can take into this halftime little break right here and to try to dig themselves out of this hole.
Maybe, you know, at least you're winning the ground ball battle. But, you know, for the big thing for Minnesota right now, slow down the game. We're going to move to the first half highlights as we see exactly how this all broke down. But for the Gophers, you know, just don't try to get it all back in one play. You want to slowly make a comeback. As you can see, the first dive attempt there. But this is it. Look at that speed. Right around the edge. Find the one-on-one matchup. I'm taking this myself. Boom. Finds the lane situation. That's exactly what the Panthers have been doing. It's a one-man game out here. ISO ball, as you'd like to put it. If you want to do, I know you're a big basketball guy, so I'll do your little comparison to basketball. Isolations. Great passing. First of all, that was a fantastic save, you know, for Minnesota. But the Panthers, it's passing and it's matchups. Bollinger, he's been my MVP so far early in this game. Bollinger has done a fantastic job at saving the goals, but also staying in position. Because you know what? Even the shots that are miscued, off to the right, off to the left, they go a little high. That is because Bollinger's there. You know, if it's an open goal, most of these players, in practice, they'll hit every single open goal if you give them that, right? But because there's a player in there, it forces them to have to overthink a little bit. Oh, I got to put it in this right corner because he's a little emphasized to the left. But Bollinger's covering up the entire goal. Forces a shot to go high, a little off, a little miscue.
Right, and again, Bollinger has been making such a big impact that the Gophers have barely been able to touch the ball at all. And you were saying that you only counted 3 shots on goal.
That was in the first quarter.
For the Gophers. So do we have an update on that total?
Well, I'll tell you what, it got close to 10. That's something. But biggest thing there is the faceoffs, man. The Gophers aren't winning the faceoffs. And I said this before. Lacrosse is a big game that could get out of hand. All of a sudden, you know, you score a goal for the Panthers, right? Then you win the faceoff. It's like, oh my goodness, I got another possession. I can score again. If my offense is in rhythm, it could literally be the one sport where it's an onslaught consistently. Because no matter what, when you score, you have a chance of getting the ball back. So that's why the faceoffs are so huge. And the Chapman Panthers have been winning that battle. They score, they get the faceoff, they get another possession. The offense just continues to find the rhythm. The Gophers haven't been able to touch the ball on offense, so they can't find their rhythm. They haven't been able to get their shooters good shots.
You're exactly right about that. And coming into halftime, the Panthers have a 10-0 lead over the Gophers. We're going to take a quick halftime break here. Make sure to stay tuned for the second half here on the CSBN YouTube channel. 10-0 lead Panthers. We'll be back for some second half action. Chapman Panthers men's lacrosse. Stay tuned.
Look at me, look at me. Still in the show, that's the crook in me. They want me gone with the hook in me. Asking why is he here like I shouldn't be. I've been on grind since I old. 10,000 hours the motto. They see the bag is coming out and flocking to me like I won the lotto. Dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Thought they be scheming and said adios. Get it, don't mindset. Ay, back with a vengeance, back on the grinds, back to the business. Ay, God is my witness, they watching my moves like shows they binging. Ay, best keep distance, all of my haters send best of wishes. I get to the bag with the quickness, no I don't need no assistance. Oh, yeah, no playing it safe. I said let's get it, you say not today. What can I say? You ain't gon' go for it, get out the way. Got no time to waste. Can't be with me if you're not at my pace. You're not at my level, you're not in my race. One foot on the gas, I'm pushing the brakes. You dancing with the devil, there's no recital. I'm killing competition, ain't no revival. I shoot it to kill it, I'm aiming for vitals. I'm showing no mercy when facing my rivals. Snakes in the grass, they getting exposed. I know they be lurking, I'm watching them close. Acting like friends, but really they foes. Thought they be scheming and said adios. Don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset. I gotta get it, don't mindset.
never give up. If I bleed it down, I'm gonna stitch up. 10 points high, never switch up. Took your best shot, still missed us. I will never give up. If I bleed it down, I'm gonna stitch up. 10 points high, never switch up. Took your best shot, still missed us. 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 And I swear I put my life on it. Can't believe fruit grew from the stripe of it. Neck used to have a knife on it. Looking in the mirror and I got that ice on it. And it's iconic, and it's ironic. I'm getting paid just to put together phonics. Had to keep my focus, had to counter locus. Dreamed about this moment even when I felt the lowest.
And welcome back to the second half coverage of Chapman Men's Lacrosse for the Panthers versus the Gophers. 10-0 lead here so far, as we have a special interview here at halftime. We have our sideline reporter, Annie Gopher, with head coach Joel Acalis. Annie, take it away.
So I'm here with the head coach of Chapman. What do you think went well for you in the first half? What do you think that was the key? Because you're obviously way ahead.
We definitely dominated possession. A lot of the ground balls, ensuring that we keep that possession there. We're taking care of the ball on clears, and we're finishing every single shot pretty much that we're taking. We're getting a lot of resets on the shot clock, which is helping us maintain possession as well.
Yeah, I did notice a lot of the play has been on our offensive side. So if anything, what do you want to improve for the next half to keep this win streak going?
We definitely want to make sure that we keep running our systems. Don't get out of what we are trying to achieve within our team concepts. If we get outside of our team concepts, then that's going to fall into the next game. So we're just trying to maintain, all right, play our game, and everything will fall. We reward the guys who make the play that hits 2 passes away. So we're trying to focus on that to make sure we maintain the solid lead that we've gotten here.
Yeah, well, good luck for the rest of the game. Hope it goes great for you guys. Let's send it back up to the booth.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you, Coach Joel, for taking time out of the game to do the interview. Coach Joel, one of the coaches, many coaches here who loves what we do over here at CSN, and we love him. He's been such a great help. He sent us an amazing and well-worded email with some amazing information about the team going into tonight's game. But coming into the second half, what are some things on the Gophers side of things that they can try to adjust to hopefully keep the Panthers, from their perspective, scoreless in this quarter? Because I think they have to if they want to win.
If you're the Gophers, it's doing exactly the opposite of what the Chapman Panthers, intend to do, and you got to go against exactly what Coach Joel just mentioned. You know what he wanted? What he wanted to improve on in the second half? He wanted to keep doing what he was doing. He wanted to keep not getting out of any of his system, the setups that they got. The way they're weaving their offense around, they want to keep winning the time possession. So if you're the Gophers, it's doing the opposite of that, and it starts literally right here, first play of the game, face-off to start the second half. You have to win this. Win the time possession. Get the Panthers off of rhythm. Start to lose a bit of the matchup game that they've been winning so far.
And Allers has been amazing on the face-offs, and on the contrary for the Gophers, Carson Brockenauer has not necessarily done well there in this face-off. And look at this, Allers again to start off the second half. Just amazing as Ursino comes out of the pack with it.
Time of possession is the story of the game of lacrosse, as Coach Joel mentioned already. And the Panthers are just enjoying the time that they got. They are in control of the hourglass.
As we have Worth doing a little spin cycle on the referee there, back to Voman.
Yeah. Hey, ain't no one safe out there.
No one's safe. Anyone can get their ankles broken at any time. You always got to stay ready and stay aware. As Reginelli, who had 2 early goals, looking to recapture that magic. Reginelli with a little state and bake right there. Reginelli.
He's trying to get around. Look at those little stop moves, everything like that. Showing the speed of the Panthers.
Back to Morissette. Out to Voman. Out to Worth. Cavan as Rosted comes out of the pack with it. Rosted again with an amazing save, and that was something that his confidence needed right there.
A much better start to the second half for Rosted than it was in his first half.
As the Gophers look to have a good possession here, as that is going to be Guthrie with the ball there. Back to Millett. Millett taking a little his time here. Millett, again, he has 8 goals on this season, but the Panthers have done such a good job really taking him out of this game.
No, you're seeing two very contrasting defenses with the Panthers and Minnesota's defense. How well the Panthers are containing. They double team when they need to, but they don't ever find themselves really out of position, ever.
And Millett trying to come in. He's going to pass it out to Van Newston. And the Panthers are going to be able to get that ground ball with Worth.
Covering the passing lanes.
He gets checked right there.
Hey, but he stood on his 2 feet, so that, you know, in the end, I didn't do much. That just showed his strength.
As the Panthers looking to get it, and there is going to be a flag there. And that, you know what that reminded me of, actually, that last hit? That reminded me of LSU Leonard Fournette right there. If you know, you know. Go back and watch the tape there. As for the Panthers, McDonald unable to score there. We're gonna have a quick timeout.
I'm you know, it's cool doing these other sport comparisons, but I'll just make the comparison. You know what that looked like? That looked like Jack Worth right there on the field that we just saw right there. In the end, he doesn't need to make any other comparisons other sports. Jack Worth showed his strength on that play. That shows the work that they put in the weight room, the time and effort, the speed combined with the strength. He's able to take a hit like that, stay on his 2 feet, stand his ground, keep the possession going. Big show for what this Panthers team is.
It is. It shows their toughness. It shows their willingness to do whatever it takes to win here. And for the Gophers, they've been a little more physical on the defensive end so far, and I think Coach Gosen has really liked that so far.
Yeah. No, it's a great job what they're doing, but see, I'm gonna move over to Minnesota. Minnesota already lost the possession. They lose the face-off. At this point now, I know I mentioned, you know, you can't get it all back in one possession. You know, you don't want to speed yourself up, right? You want to take your time. At 10-0 right now in the third quarter, and your offense hasn't shown any sign of movement, it's time now to play like you got nothing to lose. You got to start playing with a little bit of an over-aggression because time really is running out on the clock. You know, that hourglass, it's flipped over. The sand is falling, and if you can't stop it at any point, it's going to be over.
That's very true, as Morissette trying to come in there and back out, and that is going to be no good by Cavan, hitting the bottom post right there. But what I'm going to say to your point is you have one shot, one opportunity. Are you going to capture it or just let it slip, in the words of Eminem? Okay. And we're getting to that point already here for the Gophers.
Shit, my bad. Shoot, my bad, Slim.
Hey, I mean, hey, you know, it's a legendary song. It's a legendary song right there. As the Panthers looking to get this one. And that is going to go out of Brugman's stick, and they're going to be unable to save that one there with Walker. And the Gophers are going to take possession. And the Gophers, again, need to get something going. It feels like we've been saying the same thing for the last quarter and a half, but they have to.
12 minutes left, and that's not a pass that you want to have right there in that moment. You don't want to take the long passes. You don't want to try to shoot from that far out.
As Melton is going to give that back to McDonald. Back out to Worth. Again, Worth able to just take his time here.
Yeah. So if you're the Panthers, your advantage is the fact that you have an 80-second shot clock. Run that down every chance you get. That is running down so much time off the clock. And there's a flag down. Again, the way that they're letting the possession keep going as well, that shows that this is a defensive flag, so it's a free possession before you get a penalty possession.
Bowman, who's going to get the goal there, the key player, getting his first goal of the game. What's the celebration looking like? They're not going to go too crazy on the celebration here yet, because they get another possession here. Back-to-back goals, though. They may have a even crazier celebration.
Well, you know what, too, though? You've already done enough celebrating, man. You're up 11-0 at this point. And right now, every goal that you get for the Chapman Panthers, it's just for Minnesota, it just feels like that mountain is continuing to rise and feels a little bit more insurmountable. You can tell in the body language. You can tell in the energy. It's just starting to demoralize them. for the Chapman Panthers, you just don't stop. You just keep it going. Keep playing your game. Keep winning the time possession. Here we go with the face-off. Let's see who wins it. Look at
And
that smart
the
play.
Panthers are going to get that one. It took a second there, but the Panthers able to get it with Adlers again.
Yeah, Adler's, he did a great job there, actually. Instead of trying to win the ball itself, he decided to play a box-out game, let his teammate pick up the face-off.
McDonald back to Worth. Worth again able to just really take his time to survey the defense, read the defense, and make the proper pass and play. But that's going to go off Brugman's leg. But Worth is going to be able to get back.
Keep the
that
clock
one,
ticking.
to
Smart
that one
passes.
quickly.
Don't force anything that would be too out of position.
Back to Voman. Cavan into McDonald, and he's going to miss that one.
And if you want to notice something different, Minnesota now, they used to play where they actually had one of their midfielders playing on the offensive side, sitting on the far offensive side, making it 4 people there. But
We have another ground ball opportunity here, and Brewing is going to be able to pick that one up and set the possession here for the Gophers.
I hate putting pressure on so many possessions, but this is it type of situation right here. If you can't get your offense going at this point with 10 minutes left in the third, good luck. At this point, you need to just try to contain. Oh, good move.
And they're going to not get a shot there. What a play from Rikers as the Panthers able to get it back with Kennedy. But we're going to get a whistle.
Yeah, Kennedy took a pretty big fall there, and that was off the spin move.
And let's see what they're going to call. We have an injured Panther down on the field as everyone taking a knee, which is not something that you like to see, but it's also a sign of respect. So we will see who this injured player is for the Panthers.
Yeah, one thing that hurts about, seeing that, it looked like it was a bit of a leg injury. He's trying to right now work on the extension of the leg. And in a game of lacrosse, it's very hard on the knees. You're cutting, you're planting your legs, you're kind of being put in off positions. So it's just trying to make sure that hopefully his leg's okay. They're trying to extend it around, try to see if they can move it. And the last thing you'd want to see in this type of game, in this situation, you're already up 11, and to see one of your top dogs get hurt like this, that would not be great for the Chapman Panthers.
No, it would not be. But you were saying early on that the deep roster that the Panthers have, and that's going to be able to come into play here with this injury, most likely, unless if he will stay in the game, which is yet to be determined.
Well, yes, but even if which he's luckily getting up on his own power, coach is helping him. He's trying to extend that right knee, just trying to get it going. McDonald, hopefully, it looks like he's going to be helped off with his coaches, which is a great sign. I love to see that the head coach is out there, ready to help them. But, even if he is cleared to return in a situation like this where you're up 11-0, it's not particularly a moment where you're like, let's put him back in. You're up 11-0. The game is in your control. You don't want to force him to be put in any awkward situation in a game that really is now at this point just doesn't have as much of a factor in the current moment.
You're definitely right about that there, as the Gophers are going to start off with possession with Nuss behind the goal.
But back in the game here, 70 seconds on the shot clock, and I mentioned this is the possession. We're just now under 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Gophers have shown no sign of life whatsoever. You got to have a little bit of fight left.
As Millet, that one is going to be way off there, and they do still have fight, but the way their offense plays, it seems like it's only a matter of time, but that time is dwindling rapidly here for the Gophers. As we now have Van Peterson back with possession. He's got Carlson, and a good stop there, and let's see who's going to get it. The Panthers are going to come up with that one with Kennedy recovering yet again.
Story of the game, the switches of possessions, and look at this, Panthers moving quick down the field offensively.
Again, going on one of those fast break type of plays there. Ursino, though, going to slow it down.
Good play by Nico, just holding it back. Don't want to try to force yourself out of position.
Because that is Seabury with it. Going to get it to Ronan. Out to Kelly. Back out to Seabury.
Good movement. They're running that shot clock down very good.
And the Panthers now looking to get a shot off here soon. Back out to Ronan. Ronan making his move. And he gets pushed from the back, and there will be no flag called there. And the steal made by Becky Gallipo there.
Minnesota work in transition, try to score quickly. We have a couple sub-ins as well for the Panthers. Beasley subbing in, the sophomore. He's a midfielder. Doesn't have much on the stat sheet right now except, you know, the 4 ground balls that he's picked up in this game, but he does have 16 career goals, and he did win all freshman honors in 2023, so just last year.
So again, a player that does have experience coming in for these Panthers in this moment.
And this is, again, it's a good opportunity to find your guys, you know, find someone who's like, okay, wait, you can be an asset to us later in the season in the big games. You know, you can be an impact player, an X factor. We need to give you more time. So for these players too, it's their opportunity to put their name out there to the coach.
As Wilkinson got that recovery, but Ursino now with it. Ursino looking for Morissette, who had 3 goals in the first half, and that's going to be a goal there for the Panthers. Adam McDonald for his first of the game. 12-0 lead for the Panthers. Around halfway done here in this third quarter.
Adam McDonald, he was an X factor in the game against UCSB. He in the 6-5 win. He scored 2 goals in that game. Freshman, 5'10", 160, quick on his feet, great passing. But I think one thing you got to see there too, if we have the highlight for that, is what a great shot that was in his hesitation. He did a little bit of a pump fake, and it looked so minor, but it was enough to make the goalie commit one way, and then he went low.
Those pump fakes are very, very effective, as New Stratton able to come up with that.
Yeah, and if you're able to have that much stick control to where you're able to still keep the ball right in your possession while still doing a bit of a move, so impressive, so good to do.
You know, that takes a lot of feel, I would say, in order to do that right there.
It
As
does
out to
indeed.
Reginelli. Reginelli looking to set the offense. Reginelli
Good
with
move.
a little stop and go there. Reginelli not going to go for it. Out to Cavan, who's going to get that one to go. Cavan's second goal of the game. 13-0 lead, Panthers.
My goodness. I love what the Panthers are doing, though, too. You know, in the end, just because you have a big lead does not mean you stop the momentum that you got going. You keep your foot on the gas. You give Minnesota no room to breathe. And at this point, my goodness, you're up 13-0. It's the passing, too. Look at that movement right around. It allowed the wraparound shot. But Minnesota is just a little bit too slow to the passes. They're a little bit delayed in their reactions. And with the Panthers' speed, you just can't afford that. So you see a little bit of kickball there as you see trying to win the ground ball.
Hey, you got to do whatever you can at this point if you're the
should.
Gophers. But something to keep an eye out, too, on that last goal was Rostad kind of misread, as you were saying, the passes. He misread the shot, too, because the other side of the goal was left completely wide open.
Yeah.
As Cavan was just able to slightly float that right over his stick and in.
God, that loop around move has been working so well for the Panthers, hasn't it?
It has. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
if it's not broke,
so
don't
they
fix it.
don't have to. And it's definitely been paying dividends for the Panthers all night long. They may as well be listening to Lionel Richie the way it's been going all night long. As we have Brewing. Brewing is not going to get that one to go as Bollinger again able to save that one. Bollinger has had his hands all on this game.
I don't believe that was Bollinger, actually. That was the defender on the other side. You can see the way he's lined up. Troy Kennedy, his formation right there. That was his tip on the defensive side. But if you saw the way the formation lined up, you have Bollinger's in front of the goal. Troy Kennedy decided to line up right around the goal. So his job was to protect the wraparound. But good adjustment by Troy, noticing that the ball was going from the front side and there was probably going to be a shot taken from there. Moved in front, blocked the shot.
As Brewing unable to get that one there as that hit off the back. of the
Hanamoto.
Panther. Yeah, Hanamoto there.
Great job, sophomore, defensive player. He's got 4 ground balls picked up this season.
More set into McDonald. Cavan unable to get a couple of trick shots to go there as Rostad easily had time to get to that.
I like the idea, though, by Kevin, when that ball was rolling on the ground, try to get a little bit of a hockey hit off there.
Hey, you know, you go for it. If the ball's near you, you got to go for the shot. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
5:15 on the clock. You know, and this point, I like what the Panthers are doing with the sub-ins, keeping fresh legs, checking out the new players. Seeing how these players, it's also too not just seeing these players get new playing time, but it's seeing how they mesh together. You know, if you figure out like these two players, you know what? They actually got great chemistry. That shot was off the top.
As the Panthers look to recover that with New Stratton, yet again, the Panthers have been doing a much better job recovering these ground balls here in the second half.
Yeah, great job. They've actually been winning the ground ball battle in the second half, which is exactly the opposite of what you wanted from Minnesota.
And
that was a great
good
pass
there from McDonald. I thought he had that one. He just rushed the shot there a little bit.
Yeah,
we have the Gophers now back on possession.
That's a perfect way of putting it. He just rushed the shot a little bit. He tried to get it off. A little too much in time. Panthers stealing possessions back. It's just Minnesota is demoralized at this point. You can see it in the way they're moving on the field.
I mean,
Minnesota just needs a goal, a break, something that can give them a break.
As Worth looking to set the offense here. We're going to have some substitutions coming from the Panthers as Voman comes back in.
Smartly.
And Reginelli yet again coming back in, some of the stars for the Panthers throughout the night. Voman working one-on-one. He is working against McCarthy. Voman going all the way for the score. 14-0 lead, Panthers. It's been too easy. It's been too easy on offense for the Panthers all night long.
Yeah, there's a speed difference out there. But it's not. It's now all of a sudden you have new players who are coming in, players who don't get as much playing time, and they're having success on the offensive side right now. Everything is going the right way for the Panthers. Josh Voman, that's his 5th goal of the year. He's had a total of 38 games played in his career, 22 career goals, now make that 23. And also, I got to mention, for Voman, he's an applied human physiology major. Smart guy.
He is a smart guy. Shout out to our very own applied human physiology major, Justin Lee, here.
Who'll be calling the game on Sunday.
Club. Yes, he will. He'll be calling the game against USC. Make sure to stay tuned for that one. But the Gophers now are able to get back possession. And for the Gophers, they need to just get something going here in terms of offense, even if it doesn't result in the goal, just to know that you can run your planned sets or unplanned movements properly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to quickly get into the attacking front here.
Flag down. Free possession.
This is very important here. It seems like that the Gophers are going to get another possession, but a great steal there and the recovery, but the Gophers will get it back based off of the flag call.
Jack Worth, man. This dude's scoring on offense and making stops on defense. I seen that tip-off right there. I think that was also Leander who was there on the play. It was a great job by the defense.
Rikers as well was near that too.
Yeah, it was a great job by the defense though. They were able to knock that ball out, and that was a clear shot opportunity. That was probably the most out of position you might have ever seen Bollinger in this game so far. That was a perfect shot opportunity, and that's where this team is so good, because when one person might be out of the position, someone else is right there to pick it up.
As Nuss trying to run after this one, but he will not, as the Panthers going to take possession here. And something that Lacrosse actually does is they keep extra balls near the field of play, just so that there's no extra delays, which is really nice.
Well, yeah, it's you know, the ball itself, it has a high bounce. It can travel very well, right? So when throws are off and shots are off, there's no net behind the goalies to keep that from going too far out. So that's why they have to have a lot of balls laid out. They have them all over the sidelines as well as the back of the end zone.
As Worth looking to set up the offense here, getting hit there a few times, but able to take them as we've seen. Is Reginelli looking to use his speed, because he's only 1 goal away from a hat trick. We would have another Panther with a hat trick if he's able to get one by the end of this game. Reginelli.
I would make multiple players with hat tricks. That's a
we already have
great
two
offensive performance. I mean, the Panthers have already scored the most goals that they have all season. Tied it right now with Cal Poly Slow when they won that game 14-5. They're at 14-0, and this is in the third quarter.
And that's something that's pretty big for these Panthers, because we were talking about in our pre-show how the Panthers have been more of a defensive team here to start off the season. But now that they've got the offense clicking, especially tonight, this team's going to be dangerous. They already are, but they're going to be even more dangerous now that the offense is clicking, along with the elite defense that we've seen all throughout the season.
I mean, most definitely, this is their perfect game happening right now in the current moment. Both sides in sync, running perfect.
And that's definitely a successful formula that they need to follow. Is brewing, and Bollinger able to hit that one back yet again, prepared for the Gophers attack.
Yeah, you can't stop this guy.
No, he's just built different, as we would say. Like, there's nothing that you can do on him, and he was ready for that one as well. And Bollinger gets a replacement stick there from the official. Again, it's very important for all players to have these working sticks, especially Bollinger, because he has to move at such a fast rate. And now the Gophers with possession, trying to get on the board here in the final 35 seconds of this third quarter. Good defense there by Ursino and Kennedy.
Oh, good move.
Good move, but Bollinger, look at that, able to just catch it in his stick there for the final 25 seconds. Morris to Ursino, looking to try to maybe get a buzzer beater goal here before the quarter ends.
Yeah, 15 seconds left. Push the pace. Nico's great at setting up offensive opportunities.
Back to Walker. Walker trying to put the spin move on, but he's getting clobbered right now. Great physical defense there by McCarthy, as that will be the end of the third quarter with a 14-0 lead here for the Panthers entering the final 15 minutes. And if you're the Gophers, what's the mindset in this fourth quarter? What are you trying to get out of it?
Well, at this point, it's just trying to take anything positive away. If you could score 3 goals, if you could score 4 goals in this last quarter, it's something to at least hang your hat on and be like, okay, this is who we are. This is what we need to bring out all full 4 quarters of the game. It's how well they can finish this fourth quarter. It's something that they can hang on.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely very important for them. But we have George McGurk ready on the sidelines with our sideline reporter, Annie Gelfer. Annie?
McGurk.
You know, just a little rocky, but just start dialing it in, finish strong. I think if we do that, we'll be good.
Yeah. So how do you think the team has developed since you've left?
I mean, I think they've developed great. We have a bunch of really good young guys that are really coming up. You know, I think for the remainder of the season, we'll see, you know, how much they can get out of it, and I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Anything else you want to say about this season or your past time on the team?
No, love the team, love the school. I hope I'll stay for quite a few more years.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. This has been George McGurk, and back to you up there in the booth.
Thank you so much, Andy. Again, George McGurk was such a big star for these Panthers last year, and it's great to see that he's around the team. He's able to share his wisdom with a lot of the young players that have come in and have been absolutely amazing for them so far this year.
Shows the leadership of this team. You know, guy likes to be out there, likes to be supporting his team, even if it is just in a sweater and sweats. It's awesome to see how much this team loves each other.
Hey, but he's got the Chapman drip on, though, so you know we always got to respect that. Back to Kennedy. Panthers looking to start off this quarter strong. And a flag has been thrown, and it will be on the Gophers based off of this ruling. As Jack Worth, again, looking to set the pace here out to Voman. Voman has 2 defenders in front and behind him, so he's got to play smart here. Able to get around. Voman has an opportunity out to Worth. Worth. And that is right into the stick of the goalie. And for Minnesota, we have a new goalie into the game here.
Yeah.
And that is going to be Brooks Blusk to be in here, as he's only appeared in one game so far, has no saves and no goals given up. So valuable experience for the freshman right now.
Yeah, it's a chance to really see what he's got in this moment. He has a save percentage right now of 66.67, which is really good in lacrosse, above 60%. Or my apologies, that is actually the other goalie, Arson, who actually isn't out there. But Brooks right now, 0 playing time at the moment. So this is really like a true chance to get him raw experiences. I mean, talk about a tough team to do it against.
And another goal there with Jack Worth, his 4th goal of the game. And I'll tell you what, that leadership class has certainly been paying off, as he's been looking confident, fluid, everything you want on the field. 15-0 lead now for the Panthers.
I think it's more than just the leadership class, man. What this guy is doing out there, that speed, the strength he's showing, that's a lot to really how much they work in practice, their speed training, their weight training, keeping themselves at a high-intensity pace. And Nico with a great ground ball to win there.
And the Panthers again recover the face-off, a little bit of an errant pass, but they're able to start possession. That was a great stick check right there, a great legal stick check as well, might I add.
Mm-hmm. And it's very similar. You see the passing that the Panthers did even just right up there at the top. When I had my interview with Nico, he talked about that triangle drill. Picking up ground ball, toss it to the next. Pick up the ground ball, toss it to the next. Drills like that, well, it may just seem like, oh, it's just simple tosses and throws. It works your fundamentals. It creates good habits. That's exactly what they need come game time.
And practice makes perfect, as I say, and that certainly has been the case here for the Panthers tonight as they look to add on to this lead. And that was a good reaction there by Blusk, already able to alter these shots as Kevin comes out with this one for another possession.
Great job by Cap. I mean, the Panthers have actually done a great job being the closest to the sidelines, winning those possessions back even after the missed shots.
And that's a very important part of lacrosse that I think gets a little bit overlooked. You have to be near those sidelines for those balls to go over the goal.
Yeah, and it's all about positioning. Good movement right there.
Great move by Walker, able to stay on his feet. He's hitting the head, but it doesn't matter. And that is to Reginelli, out to McDonald, and that is going to be no good just off to the side. Why not? Why not go for a trick shot?
Yeah.
Trick shots make the game more fun.
But what I like, again, so as I go back to another point for the positioning and winning the balls when they go out to the sidelines, that's exactly what Chapman mentioned. It's just that's what their offense is about. It's about positioning, setting up in areas. They make sure they always do have a guy who might be closest to the sidelines following a missed shot. Always a guy standing right behind the goal off a missed shot so that when that ball goes out, they are still the closest one to that ball. They get a second shot opportunity, still get the possession.
And able to get that one back is Kevin to Morissette. And the wide open goal for McDonald. 16-0 lead for the Panthers as Blusk made a little bit of a freshman mistake there on that one.
Yeah, I would say I probably don't like the idea of him being like overly aggressive in that moment, especially on a fast break. At that point, you just got to keep your hips square, keep your feet moving, see if you can close off a shooting lane, try to see if you can get lucky at some point. But moving outside the goal, trying to play a really risky game like that, like he did right there, trying to move out to try to stop the pass, probably not the best idea, especially when you got shooters like Chapman and McDonald who was able to make a big-time play.
Yeah, and for the face-off, we have Cody Shovelson now in there for the Panthers. And the ground ball, who's going to get it? It's going to be Kennedy who comes out with it. Kennedy has a wide-open path right now, but the Gophers are starting to close in as that's going to go through the legs of Morissette. Just a little bit low there on the pass.
Bit of a miscue. Just a little bit of a miscue. It's all right, though. You live with it.
Now that's okay. When you're up 16-0, it's okay to try to be a little bit more over-aggressive and to try out new things.
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Try new things. See what kind of systems work. See, formations. Trying to put players in different spots. See what works now at this point. This is a perfect opportunity to be playing. Basically, it's a full-speed practice. It's a chance to try out new things. See what you can find. Because look, I don't want to be that guy, but 16-0, this game is pretty much over.
Hey, we never know. As LeBron James says, that game's not over till the clock hits double zeros. So we do have to see here as the Gophers trying to get a shot. They will, but
Yeah.
look at that. Bollinger yet
I'll tell
again
you
is
one
saving the
thing.
shot from Carlson.
Tell you one thing, LeBron James has never seen a guy like Bollinger playing goalie. When you got a guy like that playing in the goalie position for the Chapman Panthers, it don't matter what LeBron says. If you're up 16-0 in the fourth quarter with the goalie like that, it's over.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. Crazy things can happen here. And the Panthers, that's going to be Seabury.
So again, you know, for Minnesota, in the game that's 16-0, it's just finding some things to hang your hat on. Find the good possessions. Find the good defensive moments that you have left in this fourth quarter. You know, hang your hat on it. Truly, you know, it's the little victories that you'll take in this moment.
Is Cavan going back out to there to Seabury. Seabury looking. He had McDonald, but chooses not to go there. Chooses to go to Morris set, and McDonald's shot's going to be off target there.
I would have liked the first pass to McDonald, too. I would have liked that first pass to McDonald. I think McDonald was in a great position, and it wasn't just the fact of where he was, it was where the defenders were as well.
They have another possession here again, being closest to the sideline is Cavan trying to set the offense. Goes back.
Shot clock running
Out to
down. It's under
Ronan.
5 seconds. Got to take a shot.
Ronan trying to get a good shot off. Going to pass it, and that shot is no good there by Kelly. But again, had to take the shot, like you said, with under 5 seconds left on the clock.
Shot clock violation. You live with that. I actually do like the idea of what kind of shot he took there, though. Like one of those ground bouncing balls shot right into the goal. It could be very deceptive to a goalie if he overemphasizes the low shot.
And the Gophers now have possession. Again, looking to get on the board here in this fourth quarter. They will turn to Hurt to get this offense going. As Hurt taking his time right now, approaching 9 minutes left to go here in this one.
Yep, let the clock keep running. If you're Minnesota right here, the one thing I feel like they've lacked on is the good passing lanes. Continuing to move the ball around. You got to have players moving right now. All over the place, all over the field. Even the ones who aren't even close to the ball. Set up in position, see what you can generate. And Bollinger again.
Yeah, Bollinger easily able to get the saves. The Panthers are looking to get out and run, and they are going to get it to Reginelli. As Reginelli now is going to reset, slow down the pace. Changing up the sets here, it looks like, for the Panthers as some new players are coming across to the offensive side.
Yeah. You know, let in some new players, let them get experience. We have a new goalie in as well. Looks like it's a sophomore, Aiden Kelly, who's going to be subbing in for the Chapman Panthers.
And for the Panthers, Seabury. And that's a good thing at this point for these freshmen is Seabury going all the way, and he's going to pass it back out. Kelly now has it yet again. Going for a second shot, and it's going to be high again. No good.
This is awesome, though. All these freshmen who are in right now, these games do matter, especially to them. This is their first taste of experience for a lot of them. This is their first chance to hit the field, try to figure out the speed and the pace of what comes with college lacrosse.
And that's a very important thing, as you never know down the line in the season when your name may be called on to be an important player, potentially even in a national championship game.
Well, not even just this season, as that shot is going to be stopped. It's also for their future. You know, in the end, Bollinger's not going to be here this whole time, you know. At some point, he's going to have to go. At this point, a lot of these veteran players who make this team so good, they won't be here, you know. In college is only 4 years. They got degrees to get, jobs to get. So, you know, you started to develop those freshman class to make sure that once they leave, you have a transition of another elite set of players.
And they've had that this year, and they should look to have that throughout the next coming years with Coach Callis at head coach. But now the Gophers looking to get on the board here, just under 7 minutes left.
It's a great show of Coach Callis and how good he is as a coach to be able to continue to have continued success after losing players.
And that one is going to go in from Hofstad, the first goal of the game for the Gophers. 16-1 Panthers lead, and that was a big morale-boosting goal right there for them.
That was against Jack Duffy. It's his first time really getting playing experience from the goalie spot, of course, because Chapman, in the close games they've been in, they've always kept Bollinger in the entire game. So that's the first time Duffy's gotten a little bit of experience. It's all right. You live with it. players are not expected. You shouldn't just expect a freshman or a rookie or anyone who's new to the game, at least at this speed, at this level, to just come in on the first play. You know, there's got to be learning curves. So it's just for Duffy, you learn from it, you try to improve from it. Minnesota, you build off of what you just did right now.
Exactly right there. Couldn't have said that any better myself, but this ground ball has been going on for a long time here. Getting a little physical. We'll see who comes out of the pack with it. And it is going to be the Panthers with Morrison.
The way that ball was bouncing around, man. I feel like putting on the carnival music there. Da, 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 as the ball would just continue to keep on bouncing around all over the place. Great job, though, by the Panthers to win that ground ball. It's just they have – didn't we mention how one thing that Minnesota could hang their hat on in this game was the ground balls and that they were winning that in the first half?
We were mentioning that at halftime,
and
yeah.
Then, look what the Panthers do. They won't let Minnesota have nothing. They'll win the ground ball battle as well.
And the Panthers are going to win the possession battle here as well with another second opportunity with Reginelli being the closest to the sideline.
You want to know how much of a difference that makes? That missed shot is probably going to take off another 30 seconds just for that one possession. It's so important.
Back out to Ursino, who gets it.
Okay,
top
Nico.
right. Nico Ursino, first goal of the game, 17-1 lead Panthers.
That's Nico's third goal of the year. And what a shot it was. Usually pushing off of the right side, the goalie expected a shot to go more to the left. He literally fit it right into the top right corner. It was a perfect shot onto the corner. What a goal it is for the young sophomore Nico.
That's
And that's just a guy you love to see have success like that.
It is. We love to see anybody have success, but especially with Nico being the great person that he is after the package that we aired earlier on in our broadcast. The Panthers now have possession. Again, looking to extend their lead even more back to Hanamoto.
Shout out to Kobe Shelvinson right there. He was the one on the face-off. You know, most of the time the face-off specialist was usually Cooper Adlers, and we've mentioned his name so many times. It's good that he got in there as a face-off specialist, start to give himself a little bit of playing time, a little bit of experience, get a little bit of, man, what's the word? Feel for the game?
Yeah, definitely he's getting his feel for the game. The whole entire Panthers roster has had elite feel on both sides. And that one is going to be
right on cue.
A goal there for Morrison. No, McDonald, rather, with the goal there. His third of the game, I believe, as well.
Yeah, his fifth of the year.
18-1 lead now for the Panthers.
Yeah, as I mentioned again for McDonald, he was also someone who was big in that UCSB game. He had 2 goals against them in the 6-5 win.
And as we see that one again, just able to reach over everyone and drop it in, kind of like a teardropper there.
And this guy is a broadcast journalism and documentary major.
Really? I haven't seen him.
Check this guy out, huh?
I need to. We got to get him on the broadcast.
Hey, he's a freshman, so you know, he's new to the Dodge College. I'm not a Dodge student, so I really can't say. Got to start looking for him, Josh, up in the campus.
I do. I got to start looking for him. We got to get him on a broadcast next semester. We got to get him broadcasting in the fall. As I'm sure he's making a great impact there. Whoa, what a fake out move right there. And that was by Folk.
That was a good shot from the outside. Duffy just a little bit with the feet. He's got to keep it moving. Try to always keep his feet square. And it's a learning curve. So Minnesota's getting their late goals here with 4 minutes left. Panthers still, isn't it crazy? You know, you could say Minnesota just scored their second goal and Panthers still have a 16-point lead. But, you know, for Duffy, it's those learning curve experiences right now.
And again, they're going to win the face-off here.
Shelvinson again.
Are the Panthers. And that's what you love to see. That also reflects a lot on the teaching and mentorship of Adlers so far early on in this year.
Because, you know, you have a guy who will probably be succeeding him at some point. You know, you have Adlers who, he's a senior. He'll probably be gone by this next year unless he's a grad student returning. Shelvinson, he's going to be starting to take those face-offs probably starting next year. So it's great that he's getting these moments.
That's Reginelli. Going back out, going to reset the offense with Beasley. Beasley going all the way, and that's going to be underneath the stick of Reginelli.
Yep, and that's actually the first time, though, that Minnesota finally got the out-of-bounds advantage. One of the few times, at least. Definitely not the first, but one of the few times.
And that's definitely something that's been plaguing the Gophers throughout this entire game. And now back to Millett. Millett has been a non-factor. The Panthers have really been able to take him out of their game plan.
Yeah. No, it's really impressive how – remember we talked about this Minnesota offense? 72 total points going into the year. They only got 2 more points added to that statistic in this game. Only 2 goals. It's crazy how drastic of a difference. It's a flag down and a shot that goes off.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3rd goal there for the Gophers. And now it's the moral wins that we were talking about. 3 goals in the 4th quarter. The offense was going to score at some point.
Yeah.
At some point, they were going to break through and get that one to go. And that goal right there was scored by Berger as he gets that goal in there. 18-3 now for the Panthers lead, just under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it's something nice for them to keep in mind, when they travel back and play their next few games. It's looking at that 4th quarter and realizing, what did we do right there? Where do we, as the flag is down, it looks
that was definitely a
I was gonna say
good
for a
push
split
right
second,
there.
I was like, okay, we're just gonna let that fly. I was like, okay, I didn't know this was
Joe
the 4th
Thomas
quarter
with
going.
a great push right there on Morrison.
I was like, okay, I didn't know we were letting a little bit more slide in the 4th quarter there. It was a big-time push. Great job, though, obviously from the ref for recognizing it. Now the Panthers get to keep their possession going.
As now for the Panthers on possession here, trying to get goal number 19 before this one winds down.
Just run the clock if you're the Panthers, run it down to full 64. Work on the passing, too. Really try to nail that down. Work in the passing lane, seeing what chemistry you can build. Again, a lot of freshmen out here, a lot of guys who haven't really seen the field a lot. This is a chance for not just them to get experience, but them to get experience with their teammates and those guys who are going to be with them for the next 4 years, right, following this season. So trying to get a feel for their speed, where they like to be placed, where they like their matchups, starting to get to know them a little bit.
As Carlson.
At game speed, at least. They know them in practice, of course.
Right, as Carlson working on Hamamoto, but a great save right there and team defense for the Panthers.
That's Lossie running right down the field with speed. This is his first experience as well, the freshman.
Trying to reset it here.
I'm starting to wonder, does this lacrosse team, do they run track out here?
Yeah, I mean, they might be.
What's the speed training out here? Because right now they're looking lightning fast compared to Minnesota. The way they're moving down the field. They're doing wickets or something. What they got going?
It's also long-running cardio. That's what it is. That's what it is. You have to be able to run at that speed for a long period of time, as that was another errant pass there by the Panthers.
Okay, Feinhersh. Let me know. I didn't know you knew so much about the running and the training that goes into it all.
No, but I'm just saying that cardio is very important if you're going to be playing any sport with a lot of running involved.
100%, especially lacrosse. Lacrosse and soccer are very similar in the sense of you're consistently moving. In football, you always talk about okay, you have a possession, then you get a huddle up, and it's kind of a stoppage in time for a split second. Basketball as well, there's many moments of stoppages, right? Lacrosse and soccer, very continuous sports. Sub-ins happen while the game is still moving. The ball was consistently moving up and down the field. Good save right there.
That was a good save there by Kelly. And that is a great play there by Hanamoto to get possession back with only 35 seconds left, trying to get a buzzer beater here to end the game.
I love that I'm seeing this. Hanamoto, he's listed as a defender, and he's played defense so many times. You see how far he came up there? So they were able to have a midfielder kind of stay back, almost take the spot of a defender just for a split second. Now they switch back. Hanamoto's moving back to defense because you do have to always have 3 people for the Chapman Panthers behind that midfield, no matter what.
Exactly right, and only 4 in the attacking zone, or else offsides will be called, which we have not seen here today. And the Panthers look like they're going to run down the final 10 seconds of this game here.
It's good.
Show some sportsmanship with Reginelli just standing behind the goal there. The refs got the whistle ready. They're going to start shaking hands early, and that's going to do it. The Panthers improve to 4-0 on the season, as they will take on USC on a Sunday after this 18-3 victory. That being their first in division in SLC competition as well. But for this one, 18-3 victory with multiple players having hat tricks. Now, what were some of the things that went well for the Panthers? If you could pick a few, because a lot of things were going well tonight.
Man, that's a tough question. If I could pick a few, I could talk about literally the entire game. That was quite literally a perfect game for the Chapman Panthers on both sides. But if I were to pick a few, the biggest thing I'd say, play from Cooper Adlers. He did a fantastic job, Cooper did, and playing defense. You saw the impact he had, even the shots that broke through. Cooper was able to do a fantastic job at stopping those shots. Also, another thing I have to mention is the time of possession. And that kind of factors in a lot of things. You know, that factors in the face-offs, the ground balls, the tosses that go out of bounds, but you know, there's always a player for Chapman that's closest to the ball that keeps the possessions going. They ran down those full 80-second clocks. The Chapman Panthers won the time of possession. They controlled the game. They kept it at their pace, their rhythm.
And that's definitely something to keep an eye on there. But if you think about this, the multiple players with hat tricks, we had Worth, we had McDonald, and we had even more than just that everyone was getting in on the scoring, as we have the highlights here. And Morissette easily able to get that goal just with his elite speed going right by another player with a hat trick. And look at this defense there by Bollinger, able to dive and be the closest to the sideline.
That's not just defense. Look at that goalie coming out to win the possession back for the Panthers. That's the time of possession battle that the Panthers won so easily.
And then Vorman just able to not get that one into the goal with Rostad, making an amazing save, and that shot had a lot of velocity on it.
This was the story of the game. Look at the speed on the wraparound. He used a little bit of the screen there, right, to get around the defender, took it himself, put himself in great positions to score. And that's the biggest thing for the Panthers. They were able to put great hesitation moves, slip around, score. And this, look at the concentration from Bollinger right there. You see that shot that is so hard to track at that speed on an open shot in a lane like that. What a game he had.
And that was another one of worst not goals, as Rostad again barely able to save. Now when you think they're going in, and Rostad a couple of times was able to get, and look at that juke right there by Morissette. Able to pass that out to Vorman for his second goal. As many players as well for the Panthers had multiple goals in this one.
There's your story, a little bit of like the hesitation moves, and that's a little bit of what, see, they're trying to figure out. Minnesota was trying to do the same thing, but when you got a goalie like Bollinger who's able to track the ball, Bollinger right there was seeing the game a little bit slower than the rest of the team out there from Minnesota, right? The ball looked like it was coming at him a little bit slower, like he was able to react to it better. He had a bit of a sixth sense out there on defense, and that came true tonight as Minnesota able to get a good goal at the end. And that's the thing for Minnesota, those last few goals. Hang your hat on that, you know? Go home, you know, it was a rough game. It really was. There's not too much to pull from it. But if you're Minnesota, you pull from those moments. Okay, what did we do well in the fourth quarter? How can we build off of that? Because we know who we are. We know how good of a team we are offensively. So if you're Minnesota, try to build off of that. You know, try to keep continuing to see, okay, how can we continue to make our good passing like we did in the fourth quarter? What do we do right here? What do we do right on these possessions? What do we do wrong here? How do we continue to improve? As you see the coach right there hyping up his team, what a great win it is for the Chapman Panthers. A 4-game win streak to start the year. Again, they're nationally ranked. This team knows what they're going for this year. It was a rough loss to end the season last year in the playoffs. They know exactly what their goal is, and every single day they're attacking that goal. Every day at practice, every day in the weights, even on their off days, always trying to study, always trying to prepare for the next game. This team wants it. They're hungry. They feel like it's their time.
And something to keep an eye on, the team they lost to last season, Virginia Tech, #1 in the entire country, and they have them on the schedule later on this year. So we know that rematch is going to be tightly contested, and it's something to keep an eye on. Is that the Panthers' next game on Sunday afternoon is against USC. It's in conference. That was something that they can take away from this and move into that game, because we know USC right now in last place, but those conference games, you never know with those heated rivalries.
Trap games. That's a big trap game right there against USC. It's a team, you know, you have the Chapman Panthers who are 4-0. You have USC who's 0-5, right? It seems like the Panthers just can't be stopped. They come off a big win like this. It's a big win right here against, 18 scored. Feels like they can't be stopped at all. But when you got a guy like Jason Bollinger, who's our MVP and who might be on the sideline with Annie right now at the current moment. Let's get down to Annie for that.
So how do you feel, what do you feel was your biggest strength in that game?
Biggest strength, definitely just the team defense. We had a plan going in. We knew what kind of looks and sets we were expecting, and we saw exactly that. So we had our plan going in, and we executed it tonight. So.
Well, you're the MVP. What do you think your strength was personally?
Personally, I think my play outside of the goal, helping with the clears, helping with the ground balls whenever we got a chance. Saves are kind of expected as a goalie, so everything else I can do is helpful.
And was there any difference between how you approached the game at the beginning versus how you approached the game at the end?
No, there was no difference really. We went in just wanting. We wanted the shutout for the first half. That was our main goal. So you just kept the intensity throughout the game for that.
Well, you were so close to that shutout, but great job, MVP Jason here, goalie. Awesome saves all throughout the whole game. Thank you so much. Back up to the booth.
And I love what Jason said there, because that really was a big element of his game, moving outside the goal, getting those clears, being able to try to be an extra force to win those ground balls. You saw how many times we mentioned that? Oh, Bollinger's outside the goal right now. What's he doing? And you see him, he's fighting for the ground balls. He's helping out his teammates. But then even when he's outside the goal, he resets so quickly. He gets back in position. He stands right in front. He's a fantastic job in positioning, knowledge of the game, awareness of the field. That's really what helps him. And again, we're talking about this game against USC, and I mentioned when you got a guy like Bollinger, he's going to be a key factor against USC here to try to demoralize their offense. It's going to feel like, man, we just can't do nothing right now. We can't get past this guy. It's because you got a guy like Jason Bollinger right there.
And something to keep an eye on, too. In that interview, he said saves are expected as a goalie.
And that
shows a lot about his mentality, as you just mentioned there, is he knows that he has to be outside of the goal at certain times. And a way that you can help this team as well is through a little fundraiser that we are having here at Chapman University.
Yeah, so just like how Jason Bollinger is helping out the Chapman Panthers win these games, you can help out this Chapman Panthers lacrosse team, because this is a self-funded club team. They're not getting paid by the school or nothing. This is their own players, the families themselves who are helping. So if you feel like you support this team, if you watch this team every single day, and you feel like, you know what, I want to give a little bit of my support, look at the QR code down below, click it. Try to donate as much as you can, or as much as you're willing to, at least. Any donations do help to this team. It allows them for travel, allows for their food, their expenses, the equipment, everything. It helps this team succeed. And this is a team, again, who's looking to go for the championship this year. They're going to have to travel a lot, so any donations do help.
Exactly. If you want to be a part of a team that could potentially win a national championship at the Division I level, please consider donating, because these players put on an amazing show every single game, and we hope that we put on an amazing show for you at home. That's all we have here tonight for the Chapman Panthers men's lacrosse versus the Minnesota Gophers. We won this one 18-3. Stay tuned all weekend for the CSPM broadcast. We got baseball tier 3 and 4, but we have lacrosse tier 1. Tomorrow we got women's lacrosse, Sunday men's lacrosse against USC. We hope you tune into all those, and make sure to follow our social medias at CSBN Live on Instagram and on our new TikTok that we've really been trying to push. We thank you all for watching. I've been Joshua Feinrich along with Alejandro Flores. We hope you have the great rest of your night and an amazing weekend.
Deucios.